Ratnakar, it is great to be here with you in sunny Valencia. Thank you so much for being part of the buildingSMART Summit. And I understand this is your first summit for buildingSMART, and I'm really keen to hear some of your impressions.
Yeah, it's been my first kind of presence at the buildingSMART, but LeapThought's been the platinum sponsor of the event for the second time. And although I have not been here, we have a great team back home, some in the US, some in New Zealand, some in Brazil, that have been actually applying buildingSMART open standards for a long time. So I'm just a representative of the team that's been doing a great job. Good to be here. Good to meet with you all in person, although we've been collaborating offline for a long time. And also have had great time interacting with many that I've been in touch offline. So it's a great place.
That's really interesting, and I think I'd really like to talk a bit about what you do and the types of things your software does. Clearly, you're supporting open standards because you said that, you're here, you're sponsoring, but I think, with your team so passionately around here, talking about some of the things that you do and some of the customers you have, I'd like to hear from you some of the types of things that your software does.
Yeah, so we have many large enterprises that have a unique kind of a problem in the sense that they've been using a lot of proprietary systems. They've had many kind of situations where they had to actually exchange the information between different systems that have not been able to talk to each other. So initially we started off solving those kinds of problems, but then again we started to see a pattern where across large-scale enterprise projects or portfolio projects, being able to do or design, build these projects in a consistent way through the end-to-end life cycle is a bit of a luxury for them. Because of the traditional kind of buying patterns in terms of software being procured for each project or a contract, and then the system or the solution being stood down at the end of the project, and people moving on to other projects, not being able to collaborate seamlessly with the external consultants, the contractors, and the broader ecosystem that get involved in the end-to-end infrastructure lifecycle, and not being able to actually induce intelligence into the data that they amass through the lifecycle. So all these things basically started to actually give us some patterns, which led to us investing in Fulcrum in 2013. And at that time, we made a conscious choice that we have to bet our house on open standards to really basically bring together the different facets of the projects and also retain the context of basically a mirror of things from one stage to the next stage of the project seamlessly, and allow for information to be able to pass hands and so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, that's where we started to actually bet on open standards, and we've been applying IFC and innovating around IFC and open BIM standards ever since. So
that's great to hear, and I think the beneficiaries of that are your customers, right? And so I've been speaking with a lot of people here at this event that seem to be using your software, and particularly Singapore and places like that. But I clearly think that support like your organizations are giving is going to be demonstrated through the use of your customers.
Absolutely. I think what we've done is we've stayed true to the course and our loyalty towards the open standards, which meant over the past few years, our basically efforts are now actually, we can see the results of the efforts and the implementations of our software in quite large scale settings. Singapore Land Transport Authority, whom we actually were able to talk about. We have a client representative from Singapore NTA, where we've rolled out the platform to 2 new rail lines, greenfield rail lines, worth about $60 billion, made up of 150 discrete design build contracts and some line-wide and system-wide contracts where there's a lot of collaboration that needed to happen across contracts with the agency, with their internal divisions of about 40 or 50 of them. So we've really actually taken the open standards into the trenches of Singapore Land Transport Authority in the way that we've applied the foundation. Obviously, that leads to us now to a great place where we can start to unlock the foundation
Yeah.
and the openness of the data by being able to infuse the intelligence, right, through machine,
Yeah.
and complement the experts to be able to design and build better.
Yeah.
So another example, I think, which I've referred to in one of the addresses that I've done, is the Building and Construction Authority, selecting us after an extensive procurement kind of a process to roll out a platform as the collaboration platform for 8 agencies within Singapore to receive and collaborate on and issue a coordinated response completely using IFC, which is now mandated in Singapore for entire Singapore's built environment. So in other words, any construction over 5,000 square meters now will have to be in BIM, in IFC, and will have to come into our platform for 8 different regulatory authorities to collaborate and issue a coordinated response back. Underpinning that with also is an automated model checker, which we will be progressively rolling out, which will basically mean not only the agencies are able to collaborate in the browsers on IFC in processing a coordinated model, they'll be further complemented by machine, right, doing these complex, deeply subjective regulatory kind of compliance checks, and enhancing the abilities of the regulatory processing officers to be able to make informed decisions about the approvals and the quality of the information that they're dealing with.
But it's based on the regulations, so ultimately it's a good use of automation to apply that to the process, to speed it up, to improve quality and accuracy. And
totally. I mean, that's exactly what we wanted to achieve. Unless you actually are dealing with the openness of the information, right? You will never be able to infuse intelligence. You will never be able to apply machine. So, yeah, I mean, we are here after we've started to have these mega successes that we are beginning to see, and proudly able to share some of our accomplishments together with our customers here. I'm sure there'll be many more. We've had great conversations with many asset owners and operators, the consultants, and others, I think, who are deeply motivated by what we've been doing, and they didn't even think this is possible. But I'd like to give the credit. I'm sure my vice president for R&D, Leo, would also be, thanking the good work that's gone on by you guys, which led to all this.
Yeah, but we need the whole ecosystem working, right? You talked about consultants, owners. I shared a slide at the start which showed people that are here, but I think software vendors are as important as anything because we've got the standards, but we need them to work. We need them to be supported, and we thank you for that, and we thank you for your engagement because it is fantastic. And I also want to welcome you to the Strategic Advisory Council at buildingSMART International, which we announced. And I think we can expect some big things from LeapThought in the next few years, so we're excited.
No doubt about it. I think our presence at the Strategic Advisory Council is a privilege to us because we are able to actually not just bring the successes we have managed to or we've achieved with open standards, but we are here to actually represent the customers' voices. We are enablers, right? We take advantage of the great work that you guys do and the community does, and then we apply it and we enable our clients to be able to imagine, because I don't believe we on our own would be able to solve everything on our own. And that's not the intention. The intention is to actually lay the proper foundation, put in place the best practices, give them access to the data at the finest level, and inspire them by showing them what the machines are able to do with the data, and then let their imaginations take over. That's our job. And I think as our clients start to do that, we want to be able to bring back their voices to the Strategic Advisory Council to see what else we can do to further enable the next evolution of innovation.
That's amazing. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. And I look forward to our next conversation.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Thank you.